So within us all, there are aspects, there are part of us that are based in impoverished thinking. And I want you to just now focus on all the parts of you that are focused in impoverished thinking. You know, the times that you might react to when you have to pay bills or pay money, times that you may have missed opportunities and not made the money that you wanted. And you may get a sense that you tap into that impoverished part of you, that part of you that gets angry, frustrated, annoyed, that criticizes others, that gets angry and spent. And all that energy that is essentially the feelings that people have when they don't have enough money. It's almost like they start to hoard what they have, and they start to scrimp and scrape and scratch and scavenge for anything that they can get, because they're coming from such an impoverished space. So I want you to let all of those energies go. So just imagine you can start to see those energies perhaps in your heart. You know, those times when your heart has not been fulfilled, when you haven't felt that you have been fully engaged or connected because you've been thinking about your future instead of being in the present. Because you're thinking about trying to make money in the present because you need it, you have to have it, you have to create it, or else the worst imaginable things will happen. I want you now to begin to imagine you're releasing all of those parts of you in your heart, all of those scavenging parts, all of those parts when you have been far too self-focused. And as you begin to do that, I want to talk to your highest self, because your highest self will get this. Your highest self will understand this. And as I speak to your highest self knows that the real art in creating incredible wealth is not to scavenge, not to take all you can, but to give all that you are, give all that to what you do, give all that you are. And the only way to give all that you are to what you do is to be in the moment. And to be in the moment to serve, to be in the moment to serve those in which you choose to give your best. And if you get a sense of all of those people that are incredibly wealthy, you will notice this behavior in all of them. For example, when you look at someone like Oprah Winfrey, when she is interviewing, she is there. She is watching, listening, smelling, breathing, using all her senses to get a sense of who she is interviewing, so that she can get the best from them by giving the best of her. Give all that you are. So she has created incredible wealth by giving the best of her at every given moment. It's almost like if you imagine being in the presence of someone like Oprah Winfrey, you would get a sense that you are really among royalty, because she is a master at rapport. She's a master at being present. She's a master at giving the best of her. Now, equally, when you consider the late Steve Jobs, he was so impassioned about his inventions that he would be present with those inventions. He would be aiming to give the best that he could in those inventions. And equally to his business, he would aim to give the best. Now, Apple, as you know, at one point in history, it had more net worth than the government of America. And so that is giving the best of you. Now, as you consider Bezos, who is now the richest man in the world currently, when many people said, how will Amazon ever be able to make a profit? It was his passion, his giving the best of himself to his business, to his ideas, to the baby which became Amazon, which has led to him being the richest man in the world currently. So as you get a sense that it is not about having scavenger rats as aspects within you, scavenging for crumbs, it is going for bigger pictures. It is going for more global ideas, for being current and creating currency, because you know the needs of the world. And the only way that you can know the needs of the world is to be ever present with it. To know what people need in every given moment means you need to be ever present. And so now, as you allow that white light to intensify ever more, now that you have the wisdom as well, allow now that white light to begin to ascend any aspects of poverty to move from you, to allow space within you to be able to have the wisdom, the fortitude, the determination, the presence, and the grace of wealth. Now, the truth is that people do not go chasing wealth. People do not go chasing money, not those who are wealthy. Those who are wealthy, they aim to make promises and keep them. They aim to give all. They think about giving the best, absolute best of them in every given moment. And you always know when you are in the presence of someone who gives everything, their heart, their soul, their intellect, their observation, and all of their skills are there for you. And you know when you're in the presence of a person like that, that person is likely very rich. Rich in wisdom, rich in energy, perhaps even rich in money. But the aim of the game is not to be rich in money. The aim of the game is to be rich in your person, to give rich exchange, to give rich communication, to give rich connection. And when you give that, it's almost like your soul, your spirit can feel that. It really feels like the words that you are uttering are so highly valuable that you get a sense that you are getting ancient wisdom. And when you get ancient wisdom, you have to be present to receive it. You can't be thinking of the future. You can't be invested in the past. You must be 100% present. And so, as your full presence, I want you to take your full presence now to any impoverished moments in your life and allow them just to leach out of you, just like pictures coming out of you. All of those old poverty stories, all those old poverty ideas, just letting them all just come out of you and go into the white light. Let the sad poverty stories be now doused in the whitest and brightest of lights, so that those old poverty stories no longer have any definition, any detail to them. And just let that now go into you. And now begin to notice that streams of light are now going out of the stream itself. And they're now going through your lineage, going through your genealogy, and all of the poverty stories that were told from generation to generation to generation to generation can now equally be cleared. Just allowing all of those poverty stories to disappear. Now, as that light continues, and just let that light continue, let it do its job. You don't have to do anything here. You just have to let the spirits do their job, because they know that you don't want poverty anymore. And yes, there is a purpose for poverty. It makes us appreciate our money more. It makes us appreciate our wealth and our life and our connections and our networks. It makes us appreciate everything we have now. But we had to some point have an impoverished life to really truly embrace and value a rich life. But there's no more purpose for having an impoverished life now. So what I want you to do is just imagine you're almost seeing now a pulse. It's almost like a pulse of a whiter, brighter, stronger light now pulsing through the white light, going through your genealogy, through the generations, and shifting all of those impoverished stories. In other words, in your present life, you will become very clear when you are thinking in impoverished ways. You will equally become very clear when you are telling stories that come from an impoverished background. When you say things like, I can't afford that, or what do you think I'm made of? Do you think I'm made of money? Do you think money grows from trees? All of those silly old ideas. You'll become very hyper vigilant, very alert to them, knowing that they are old stories, knowing that they are stories that will not create riches in your life. So from this point, I want you now to imagine that you are now putting a red pulse into the white light. It's almost like a line in the sand, and it's like a ball of fire or redness that goes through the light now. And you can see it moving in through your past, going right through every member of your family, and clearing that connection that you have to any impoverished thinking. And now, as that continues to pulse and clear those energies, I now again want to talk to your spirit. And I want your spirit to understand that should you be in the presence of any family member or any friend or any acquaintance or anyone you should meet who has an impoverished mentality, that you will allow them to go on their journey, whatever is their journey. But understand that your rapport building skills will not be to buy into their stories. Because whatever stories you buy into are stories that you are investing in. I say again, you will be hyper vigilant with the wealth language. The wealth language sounds very different. The impoverished types of language will say things like, "You're dreaming. That's just a dream. That will never be real. Wake up." You will also hear people saying things like, "That's only what happens for rich people. That doesn't happen for us." You will also hear people saying things like, "That's too expensive. I can't afford that." You will also notice people's impoverished behaviors when they do not treat themselves like they are worthy. And that is underselling yourself, treating yourself at a lower level, treating yourself like the scavenger or the rat. This is now to raise your standards. Raising your standards now in all areas. How you treat yourself, how you treat others. And you start to get a sense that now it's about the acceptance point. So this is the line in the sand. This is the acceptance point. That you will think deeply and long about your strategic decisions in the future, of what you will do in order to generate more cash flow, more revenue, more equity growth. You will begin to start thinking in much more richer ways. And now, as you continue the neurological process of adjusting your thinking to start thinking in richer ways, I now draw your attention to the aspect of you that was the impoverished one. Perhaps it was a rat. Perhaps it was the ball of fire. I want you now to let that aspect completely dissolve and disappear and ascend, and just feel those elements coming out of you. So you can feel those elements coming out of you, and just let those elements, all of those elements, disappear into the light. So all of those elements will disappear deep, 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 deep into the light. And now you can no longer see those elements. Just let all of those elements go. And now, as you let all of those elements go, I now want to have a conversation, a rich conversation. Now, what I'd like to talk about is I'd like to talk about money. And I want you to begin to understand that money is a signal. Money is an energy. Money translated, of course, when it manifests, turns into zeros and ones, digits that land in certain places, in your bank account, for example. But I want you to go to the very source. I want you to go beyond the manifestation. I want you to go to the very initiation of money. Now, money at the end of the day is an idea. It begins in its first form as an idea. Just like the idea that Steve Jobs had to create the Apple computer. That was the idea. And the idea was to create a computer that looks smarter, that thought smarter, that could anticipate the user. And of course, that idea just kept evolving to smarter software and kept evolving until it became the massive organization of Apple as it is. Now, equally, when you think of Walt Disney, who equally was a very, very wealthy man, it was the idea of allowing families to experience fun as a family together. And his greatest idea was Disneyland, Disney World. These became the genesis, the very beginnings of money. Now, the truth is that you too have ideas. There is a $1 billion idea that has been placed into your neurology. Your job is to find it. The question is, what do you need when you find your $1 billion idea? The question is, will you be courageous enough to do it? Because as all ideas, they take belief. Your belief in that you can make these ideas a reality. They equally take your courage in order to present your ideas to others, in order for them to believe in your idea. So you need belief and you need courage. And equally, what you also need in order to make an idea manifest into the digits that end up in your bank, they equally need to be able to have the patience to put together the idea and put together all the components of the idea. But then equally, you need to be with the idea 100%. In other words, you need to be fully present. Give. Just like Oprah Winfrey is fully present to all she gives. And now, as you get a sense that wealth is wisdom and creativity melded together. So the truth is that all of your wealth is there within you, just like it is within your mother and father, just like it is in every single person on the planet. And this is why we are given free will. We are given the free will to allow ourselves to bring out those ideas or leave those ideas where they are. Or we can put a program in front of those ideas, which is a belief that says, I can't ever be wealthy. I can't create ideas. So I want you to release all of those limiting beliefs. Let all of those limiting beliefs begin to dissolve, to disappear, to just shift and remove themselves from your neurology. And I want you to imagine now that within your neurology, it is now being filled with riches. And maybe you might see it as a purity of white, or maybe you might see it as rivers of gold. And I want you just to begin to get a sense that within you, you have all you need. Give all that you are. And there are ideas all around you. But you must be hyper vigilant, hyper present, fully aware that the way to make those ideas come into your being is to be observant, is to be present. And now, as you allow that part of you to begin to see that wealthy part of you, to begin to see opportunities, and you may, from this point forward, you may begin to see lots of opportunities. You might find yourself with pen and paper, or sitting on a computer, creating maps and plans and ideas, and having the patience and the presence to put these ideas together. One of these ideas will bring in rivers and rivers and rivers of gold. But all you have to do is be patient and present and allow yourself to bring these ideas into form. And when these ideas come into form, that's when they now evolve and they transmute and shift and change to turn into zeros and ones, digits on a computer, dollars in your bank accounts, money in your cash registers, opportunities manifesting into gold. And it's all there. Your job now is to allow a richer way to think to start to form in your mind. Understand who you truly are. You are not the limitation that you thought you were. You are not the impoverished person that you once were. You are not the baby without wisdom, without knowledge. You now have it all. And anything less isn't about recognizing how rich you are, isn't it? And anything less than allowing yourself to flow with ideas and have incredible patience, presence, courage and belief to manifest all of your dreams. But it's not about running around like the scavenger rat. It's about taking your time, valuing your time, and equally valuing your balance, recognizing that you are an inspiration to all those around you. And the only way to be that inspiration, give all that you are, present, give all that you are, patient, give all that you are, have belief and faith, and speak with incredible authority. It's all there. You have all you need. In a moment, not now, you will find that things will begin to shift and change. You may even find that your thinking begins to shift and change. And you may even find that you become aware of how different you are thinking and being now as a result of waking up to a richer way to think. And now that all of the poverty programs are unwinding, releasing, and shifting from you, it is now time to model a richer way to think. Modeling wealth, modeling prosperity, modeling opportunity, modeling everything that you can to be aware that it's going to feel different for a while. And be okay with the shifts. In a moment from now, I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And when we get to 1, you come back to the room, noticing how much easier it is to think more richly. So 5, allowing all that needs to shift from you to shift. And 4, allowing yourself to get the wisdoms and not just understand them intellectually, but understand them through application. Testing new theories, new ideas, new ways to be, new ways to think. Being open to be free, and idealistic about the future. And 2, coming back very gently, very easily, very gently, coming back to the room.